Sick.
Ooh, all sorts of good news.
And this happens a lot when really hot days.
Yeah.
You forget about that it really impacts. It's not just it being hot, fire conditions, it affects the water too.
And that's, of course, where everybody wants to go, is
Yeah,
to the water, which
right.
makes it extra dangerous. It was hot pretty much across the entire Bay Area. Even Pacifica made it up into the 80s.
Amazing.
San Francisco in the 90s for the first time since October of 2020. We went all of 2021 without hitting 90 degrees in San Francisco. That streak is obviously over. It's still hot out there this evening. It's going to remain warm overnight. We're not going to see much in the way of windows open weather tonight, except along the coast and eventually in San Francisco, but it's still in the 80s right now. It's still going to be hot tomorrow. There's going to be some relief at the coast and around the bay, and temperatures aren't going to be as hot farther inland, but still exercise caution if you're going to be outdoors for any length of time. Tomorrow and Thursday bring a potentially different problem to us. Some monsoonal moisture bringing some additional cloud cover. That's not a bad thing. But the possibility of a couple of pop-up thunderstorms. We don't want to see any cloud-to-ground lightning into those dry fire fuels. More on that in a second. Looking outside, plenty of sunshine. It is still hot. The cool spot is downtown, as it always is this time of evening almost. But it's 87 degrees still in downtown San Francisco. It's 88 in Oakland, 100 in Livermore, and 101 in Concord. Record high temperatures in Concord, in San Jose. Record tying high temperature in Oakland this afternoon. Those temperatures are eventually going to back down to a mix of upper 50s and low 60s. Mostly 60s inland with 50s around the bay and along the coast. Those temperatures are going to warm up tomorrow, but it's going to be more of a modest warm up around the bay and along the coast. By lunchtime, temperatures will be in the 60s still along the coast, 70s in San Francisco, 80s for Oakland and the East Bay, but already up to around, if not above 90 degrees farther inland. The inland warm up continues. Temperatures into the mid to upper 90s for inland parts of the East Bay and the Santa Clara Valley, low to mid 90s for the North Bay, with temperatures around the bay staying in the 70s and 80s as opposed to the 80s and 90s that we had today. The cooler air is eventually going to make its way into some of the inland valleys, but it's going to take a few more days for those temperatures to really back down. Perfect picture for the dog walking forecast for the first day of summer, for the hottest day of 2022 so far. Zahir is probably going to want to find the water once again tomorrow, with temperatures in Redwood City topping out in the mid-90s in the afternoon. Just too hot for an afternoon walk once again. Another day to make sure that any outdoor animals have plenty of shade and a supply of cool water. And if you want your dog featured on the pet walking forecast, you can just email it to me. There's my address. Let's take a look at that monsoonal moisture with the potential for a couple pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Futurecast indicating the best chance of that through the Central Valley and into the High Sierra tomorrow, with similar conditions again on Thursday. There are other forecast models that try to send a little of that moisture towards the Bay Area. It's a low chance, but something that we're going to keep an eye on very carefully. It just takes a couple lightning strikes to cause some big problems. The Storm Prediction Center has outlined pretty much the same area, the Central Valley and the High Sierra, for the potential of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes out of those mostly dry thunderstorms. Southern California could get some actual wet thunderstorms to take whatever rain they can get, but we definitely do not need that lightning threat. Temperatures will continue their gradual descent back to near normal levels around the Bay by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mid-60s in San Francisco, mid-70s for Oakland. Still above average for inland parts of the Bay Area, including San Jose. Upper 80s, close to 90 degrees. Mid to upper 80s over the weekend for the North Bay, with highs right around 90 degrees inland in the East Bay, which is hot if you want to just look at the number by itself, but compared to
Today,
106 in Fairfield today, 90 is going to feel like it's the very breath of winter.
Right?
It was rough today. It was not pleasant.
Anytime the temperature cracks even 85 in San Francisco, you know there's going to be some problems.
The San Francisco folk are not hardy like the folks across the bridges. When it gets above 75, it's like, whoa.
It's the difference of air conditioning or
We're
the lack
sensitive
thereof.
people, very sensitive
You know
people.
what? It's
That's
true.
okay.
It's true.
All right, thanks, Paul.